Shabbat Shalom, everyone. We begin page 142, Shalom Aleichem. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Elyon. Melech Malachei HaMelachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu Boachem LeShalom Malachei HaShalom Malachei Elyon Melech Malachei HaMelachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu Barchuni l'shalom, malachei hashalom, malachei elyon. Melech malachei hamelachim, hakadosh baruch hu. Tzeitchem l'shalom, malachei hashalom, malachei elyon. Melech Malachei HaMelachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu.
Shabbat Shalom, everybody.
Shabbos.
When people were greeting me downstairs, everyone thought that I brought the Michigan weather here to Birmingham. I see some Midwestern people. This is called a Midwest summer. You should know that. All right, we turn to page 120 as we light our Shabbat candles.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech ha'olam asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat.
And for those who are able, we rise together for our Kiddush, top of page 123.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu b'shambat kodsho be'ahava u'b'ratzon hinchilanu zikaron lema'asei v'reishit ki hu yom techila lemikra'e kodesh Zeichel Yitziat Mitzrayim Ki banu bacharta Beotanu kidashta Mikol hamim B'shambat kodshecha Be'ahava u'b'ratzon Hinchaltanu Baruch atah Adonai Mekadesh Hashamat L'chaim.
We continue together at the top of page 127. There are days when we seek things for ourselves and measure failure by what we do not gain. On Shabbat, we seek not to acquire, but to share. There are days when we exploit nature as if we're a horn of plenty that can never be exhausted. On Shabbat, we stand and wonder before the mystery of creation. There are days we act, we care nothing for the rights of others. On Shabbat, we remember that justice is our duty and a better world our goal. So we embrace Shabbat, day of rest, day of wonder, day of peace. We turn to page 130 with Psalm 95.
לכו נרנן על אדוני, נריע לצור אישנו. לכו נרנן על אדוני, נריע לצור אישנו, נקדם פניו בתודה, בזמירות נריע לו, כי אל גדול אדוני, ומלך גדול על כל אלוהים, אשר בידו מחקרי ארץ, ותועפות הרים לו. אשר לא הים והוא עשהו, ויבשת ידיו יצרו, כי הוא אלוהינו ואנחנו אמריתו וצאן ידו.
Please sing with me on 138, Lechado D, the pinnacle of Kabbalat Shabbat.
לכדו די לקראת קלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לכדו די לקראת קלה, פני שבת נקבלה. שמור וזכור בדיבור אחד, השמיענו אל המיוחד. אדוני אחד ושמו אחד, שם ולתפארת ולתהילה. לכדו די לקראת קלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לכדו די לקראת קלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לקראת שבת לכו ונלכה, כי היא מקור הברכה. מראש מקדם נסוכה, סוף מעשה במחשבה תחילה. לכדו די לקראת קלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לכדו די לקראת קלה, פני שבת נקבלה. התעוררי, התעוררי, כי באורך קומי אורי, 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 שיר דברי, כבוד אדוני עלייך ניגע. לכדו די לקראת קלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לכדו די לקראת קלה, פני שבת נקבלה.
We rise together to greet Shabbat Hamelka.
בואי ושלום עטרת מעלה, גם בשמחה ובצהלה, תוך אמוני עם סגולה. בואי חלה, בואי חלה, לכדו די לקראת קלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לכדו די לקראת קלה, פני שבת נקבלה.
The bottom of page 145. Entrances to holiness are everywhere. The possibility of ascent is all the time, even at unlikely times and through unlikely places. There's no place on earth without the presence. We say right here, Acheti Kaddish 144.
יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה בעלמא דברך חירותי וימליך מלכותי בחייכון ובימיכון ובחי דכל בית ישראל בגלה ובזמן קריב ואמרו אמן יהי שמי רמה מברך לעלם ולעלמי עלמיה יתברך יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמי דקודשה בריחו לעילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתם תושבחתה ונחמתה דמירן בעלמה ואמרו Amen.
We rise together, 146.
Am I awake? Am I prepared? Are you listening to my prayer? Can you hear my voice? Can you understand? Am I awake? Am I prepared? Yada-dai-dai-dai, 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 yada-dai-dai-dai. Barechu et Adonai HaMevorach Baruch Adonai HaMevorach Le'olam ba'ed Le'olam ba'ed Yada-dai-dai-dai, 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 yada-dai-dai-dai.
The top of page 149 together. Praise you, Adonai, our God, for whom the evening flows. Your wisdom sets the way in which time and season glide. Your breath guides the sail of the stars. Creator of the tide of time and light, you guide the current of day into night. As heaven spans to infinity, you set its course for eternity. Praise you, Adonai, our God, for whom the evening flows. Baruch atah Adonai, Hamariv Aravim, on the next page.
Ahavat olam, Beit Yisrael, Amcha ahavta, Amcha ahavta. Torah u'mitzvot, chukim u'mishpatim, otanu limadeta, otanu limadeta. Adonai Eloheinu b'shokvenu uvkumenu nasiach mechukecha ונשמח בדברי תורתך ובמצוותיך לעולם ועד כי הם חיינו באורך ימינו ובהם נהגה יומם בלילה נהגה יומם בלילה ואהבתך אל תסיר ממנו לעולמים ברוך אתה אדוני אוהב עמו ישראל. שמע ישראל אדוני אלוהינו אדוני אחד ברוך שם כבוד מלכותו לעולם ועד ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך וקשרתם לאות על ידיך והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם לאלוהים אני אדוני אלוהיכם אמת.
We continue the top of page 157. Standing on the parted shores of history, we still believe what we were taught before ever we stood at Sinai's foot, that wherever we go, it is eternally Egypt, that there is a better place, a promised land, that the winding way to that promise passes through the wilderness, that there's no way to get from here to there except by joining hands, marching together. Our song of freedom, our Micha Mocha, on the next page.
Micha Mocha ba'elim Adonai Micha Mocha nedar b'kodesh Nora tehilot osefele Micha Mocha ba'elim Adonai Malechutecha ra'u banecha Bokei hayam lifnei Moshe Se'eli Emanu ve'ameru Adonai Meloch leolam leolam ba'ed.
161. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Adonai, help us to walk with good companions, to live with hope in our hearts and eternity in our thoughts, that we might lie down in peace and rise up, waiting to do your will. Our Hashkivenu is right there, 160.
Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom V'hamideinu shomreinu l'chaim. Spread the shelter of your peace over us. Guide us in wisdom, compassion, and trust. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom V'hamideinu shomreinu l'chaim. Save us for the sake of your name. Shield us from hatred, sorrow, and pain. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom V'hamideinu shomreinu l'chaim, l'chaim, l'chaim.
163. We are a people in whom the past endures, in whom the present is inconceivable without moments gone by. The Exodus lasted a moment enduring forever. What happened once upon a time happens all the time. Vishamru 162.
Vishameru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat לעשות את השבת לדורות המרית עולם ביני ובין בני ישראל כשדיין לעולם לעולם כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ וביום השביעי שבת ויהי נפש.
The middle of page 165. Prayer invites God's presence to suffuse our spirits, God's will to prevail in our lives. Prayer may not bring water to parched fields, nor mend a broken bridge, nor rebuild a ruined city, but prayer can water an arid soul, mend a broken heart, rebuild a weakened will. For those who are able, we rise together for our tefillah 166.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu v'Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzchak v'Elohei Yaakov Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel v'Elohei Leah האל הגדול הגיבור והנורא, אל עליון, גומל חסדים טובים וקונה הכל, וזוכר חסדי אבות ואימהות, ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם, למען שמו באהבה. מלך חוזר ומושיע ומגן, ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם בעזרת שרה. אתה גימור לעולם אדוני, מחיי מתים אתה רב להושיע. משיב הרוח ומוריד הגשם, מכלכל חיים בחסד. מחיי מתים ברחמים רבים, סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר. מי כמוך בעל גבורות ומי דומה לך, מלך ממית ומחיה ומצמיח ישועה, ונאמן אתה להחיות מתים. ברוך אתה אדוני מחיי המתים. אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש, וקדושים בכל יום יהללוך סלה. ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש.
The top of page 173. May these hours of rest and renewal open our hearts to joy and our minds to truth. May all who struggle find rest on this day. May all who suffer find solace. May all who hurt find healing on this day. May all who despair find purpose. May all who hunger find fulfillment on this day. And may this day fulfill its promise. Baruch atah Adonai Bekadesh Hat Shabbat. We continue with our Ritzei on the next page.
Ritzei Adonai Eloheinu Be'amcha Yisrael U'tefilatam me'ahava tekabel U'tehil ratzon tamid avodat Yisrael Yisrael Amecha El Karov Lechol Kore'av Penei Elavatecha Bechonenu Shefoch Ruchacha Techezena einenu beshuv Zion berachamim Baruch atah Hamachazir Shechinato Letzion Letzion
the top of page 179 together. Grant us peace, your most precious gift, O eternal source of peace, and give us the will to proclaim its message to all the peoples of the earth. Bless our country as a safeguard of peace, its advocate among the nations. Make a temperate reign within our borders, health and happiness within our homes. Strengthen the bonds of friendship and fellowship among all the inhabitants of every land. Plant virtue in every soul, and may the love of your name hallow every home and every heart. Praise you, Eternal One, who blesses our people with peace.
Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Ki atahu melech handon lechol hashalom. Ki atahu melech handon lechol hashalom. Shalom Rab al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rab al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. V'tov b'einecha levarech et Amcha Yisrael b'chol עת ובכל שעה בשלומך. שלום רב על ישראל עמך תשים לעולם. שלום רב על ישראל עמך תשים לעולם. תשים לעולם, תשים לעולם. Baruch atah Adonai hambarech et amo Yisrael b'shalom. We take a few moments for private prayer. Yihu l'ratzon imrei fi. Yihu l'ratzon imrei fi. V'hegion libi lefanecha. Adonai tzuri v'goali. Oh, may the words of my mouth, the meditation of my heart be acceptable before you. O God, my rock and my redeemer. Oseh shalom bimromav. Yaseh shalom aleinu be'al kol Yisrael. Me'imeru, me'imeru. Amen.
At this moment in our service, we think of those in our community, those especially who are in need of healing of body or spirit. We think of Jeremy Applebaum, Sophia Barry, Margaret Bell, Arit Cohen, Richard Epstein, Anna Claire Fernandez, Henry King, Cindy Land, Marilyn Leeds, Richard Magnati, Paul Mosteller, Stephen Muss, Ron Ostreicher, Malka Bat Rachel, Jerry Sklar, Pat Thibodeau, and Alan Unger. For those who are with us tonight, if you're thinking of a loved one, a friend, someone who means so much to you, and you wish to share their name out loud, we invite you to do so either by rising or as my eyes meet yours. You're good. For those names mentioned out loud and for those names that are still in our hearts, our Misha Berach, our prayer for healing, middle of page 371.
Misha Berach Avoteinu Mekor HaBracha Le'imoteinu. May the source of strength, who blessed the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Mishe Berach Imoteinu Mekor HaBracha La'avoteinu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, and the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen.
Good Shabbos, everybody.
Good Shabbos.
My first question tonight. Has anyone ever made a deal with God? What was that? What'd you say? I'm trying to. So I think there's two types of deal making with God. I think the first one is a simplistic things we try to get away with, hoping for a better outcome, and I shall explain. When we were in high school, maybe we made a deal with God that if I rushed this paper last minute, please God, let me get a pass on this paper. Or, I made one last year. We were in Houston, and this is when there was a icing in Alabama, and when the world comes to an end, I remember I was calling Eric Land left and right about airplanes and weather patterns, and I was praying to God, please, dear God, please let me come home, and when I come home, I will never, ever complain about airplane traffic or being delayed, okay? So we have simplistic deal making. And I'm sure we have all done this because this is what we do as Jews and non-Jews. We make deals. I think a lot of us in this congregation will probably make a deal tomorrow when a certain team plays who loses and wins. Is that correct? Maybe. No? Okay, so those are the simplistic deals that we make. Something for a better outcome at the end of the day really doesn't affect our lives. But then there are what I call when the world is against us, and this is where we get to the neshama, we get to the soul, that we get a horrible diagnosis, we don't know what that health outcome will be, we get a bill in the mail and we don't know how we're going to make that payment. This is when things get real. And when you go and we beseech God and you say, God, I need you to fulfill something for me. I've been a good person throughout my life, and for me to get hit with this out of nowhere is truly unacceptable. I am begging you, I'm asking you, I want that deal. This is my deal, and I want it now. If you deliver for me on this, it gives me what I need the most right now, not only for a better outcome, but all chat kama v'kama is trust. I think a lot of us have been in that situation. So we have simplistic, and then we get into conversations about where is God the most when we need God, and then we get into deal making, which has a strong precedent in Jewish tradition. And for the past 15 years, 16 years being in rabbinical school, and 11 years on the pulpit, it's this Torah portion that has always got to me because of Jacob. Parshat V'yetzei, and Jacob left out. And what we know about Jacob in previous parshiot is that he lacks a core. He lacks any type of a mission and identity. If we look at the plain meaning of the Torah text, he forced his brother Esau to give up a birthright in order so that Esau could live. This is the character of Jacob. And later on in life, he comes up with a plan with his mother to manipulate his dying father in order to receive the status of the firstborn son, to get that bracha, to get that blessing. And Esau was so mad that he fled. Jacob fled. And Esau promised one day if he ever ran into his brother, there would be revenge. And Jacob's character, again, lacked that foundation, that core, that backbone, that spine. And now Jacob has gone out. He's dreaming. He's dealing challenges with marriage. And here we are, and when he wakes up, and he woke up in the morning, and Jacob set a vow, a neder. If God will be with me, will guard me on this way that I am going, will give me bread to eat and clothes to wear, and return to my father's house, and Adonai will be God to me. Then the stone which I set up you as a pillar shall become the house of God, Beit Yisrael, and whenever you will give to me, I shall repeatedly give tzedakah it to you. So can we say that this is the first major deal in the Torah? That Jacob needs something in order for him to survive. And what that's going to be the reconciliation with Esau, which is happening soon in Jacob's life. So if we look at the plain meaning of the Torah text, what is Jacob doing? He says, God, if you have my back, God, if you provide me sustenance, okay, I'll pick you. And when I've read this for 15 plus 16 years, I've always thought that he still doesn't get it. The chutzpahdik, the raw nerve not to own up to his own shortcomings and figure out what he needs to do to become a mensch, a better person. And finally, it hit me. Jacob wasn't making a deal. Any time that we face uncertainty in life, and Jacob was facing a tremendous amount of challenges, he wanted to have trust in something that was unknown, something that didn't have tangibility, a belief, call it faith, emunah. ahava, call it love, that he wanted to put trust in God in order for him, as we say in Hebrew, hitparchut, development, in order for him to grow and to figure out how to become the house of Israel and reconcile with his brother and soon become a much better father. So when we look at this Torah portion, from Sforno to Rashi to Ibn Ezra, they tell us that this is not so much of a quid pro quo that if Jacob does this, then God will do this. This is about putting trust in God for the unknown. And I know where we are at the Jewish world. For the past couple of weeks, an uprising in Amsterdam, an attack in Montreal and Toronto, a bombing in Melbourne of a synagogue today. Baruch Hashem, nobody was killed. But it's hard for us to have trust in this Jewish relationship with God. And as we move forward, and as we, the Jewish people, experience what Jacob's experiencing, I imagine all those hostage families are doing the same thing that Jacob's doing here. I believe in faith and I believe in the power of our tradition, but I also believe in having trust in each other. And finally, our rabbis tell us that the deal wasn't with God. The deal was with Jacob himself. That Jacob had to learn to trust himself, to recognize his own imperfections and shortcomings, to recognize that in order to survive this reconciliation with his brother, he has to own up to it and apologize, which he surely does. So for us to keep on going in this Jewish world, it's twofold. It's to have trust in the power of the enduring Spirit and to have trust with each other. We got your back. We can get you some water. And at the end, because Jacob had trust in himself, Jeff, give me a little fill real quick. And it's trusting to know that when someone's in need, we got each other's back. Shabbat Shalom. We rise together, Elenu 586.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצא בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, מגון עלינו ככל המונם. מה אנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לבני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא, ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ היום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו אחד.
Please be seated. On this Shabbat, we recall the yortzites of Rose Ahrens, Julian H. Ellenberg, Danielle Alun, Ivan K. Black, Jack Brickman, Brian Cohen, Irene Eagle, Abe Epsman, Fred Friedman, Jeanette Goldstein, Belle P. Gottlieb, Richard Irving Gottlieb, Esther Grafman, Henry Morton Hellsberg, Joyce L. Cohen Jacobson, Benjamin Kahn, Max Kolinsky, Leo Kaiser Sr., Alan Land, Kate E. Malkov, Leah Ellen Marks, Henrietta Michaelov, Annie Moskowitz Miller, Julius Mitnick, Joseph J. Morris, Flo Ruth Morris, and Raymond Lily Wool Rosenbaum, David Schoenberger, Elise Schoenberger, Jack Siegel, Sidney Seidemann, Ruby Seitel, Henry Siegel, Sally Tamsin Hill Slate, Samuel Smith, Mina H. Stern, and Marlene Waller. Our recent condolences of those who passed away on this Shloshim: Joel Goldstein, Jimmy Rotenstreich, and Edgar Zimmerman. May all their memories forever be a blessing. If it is your custom to rise for a Mortar's Kaddish, we invite you to do so. And we turn to page 598 for a Mortar's Kaddish. Yikadal v'ikadash shemei rabbah, v'yamad divrach rotei v'amlich malchutei, v'chayachon v'yom echon uv'chayei dekol beit Yisrael, b'agalah u'izman kariv v'yumru.
Amen.
Yehei shmei rabbah mifarach li'olam al malei almayah. Yiparach v'hi shabach v'hi ba'ar v'hi troman v'hi naseh v'tadar v'taleh v'talal shmei dekutsha.
Brichu.
La'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechamata damin ram yomal v'yimru.
Amen.
Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya v'chaim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'yimru.
Amen.
O say shalom b'imromav, huya say shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, v'imru.
Amen. O say shalom b'imromav, huya say shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, me'imeru. Amen.
We conclude with Hatikvah 678.
Kol od balev afenima, nefesh Yehudi homia, ulfatei mizrach kadima, ein letzion Sophia. Od lo avda tikvateinu, hatikma machnot alpayim, liotam choshim be'artzeinu, eretz Sion v'Yerushalayim, liotam choshim be'artzeinu, eretz Sion v'Yerushalayim.
Shabbat shalom.
Good Shabbos, everyone.